Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so I have Blake Templeton on the line, and he's CEO and founder over at Boron Capital. Blake, welcome to the show.
Hey, Adam. Appreciate the invite, partner.
Oh, man, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So turning your net worth into an ATM machine. I mean, how many people don't want to do that? We know cash flow is king, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, I do want to get a little bit more background. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Boron Capital, please.
Yeah, what we do is we take individuals who want to make more money in their retirement. We transition them into alternative investments that we control, run turnkey, and produce a fixed-rate return.
Love it. And we know that as people go into retirement, like cash flow is a big deal. And so that's why I'm excited to have you on the show today to get into this topic. So turning your net worth into an ATM machine. I mean, where do you want to go with this one?
Yeah, I love it, man. So essentially it comes down to three-dimensional investments. You know, we've been in business 14 years and 300-plus transactions, and not one single investor has lost money. And I was doing an interview for Forbes, and they came out and were asking, how has no one lost money? I mean, no one's lost money in 2006 and, in 2020 in the unprecedented time and 33% unemployment rate, or 33 million people unemployment and 20% unemployment rate. And the reality is it's a three-dimensional investment, and we find out that everyone just leaves an arm and a leg, Adam, in the stock market because they just don't know what to do. They kind of leave themselves stuck in that place. And so the truth is, unless your money is collateralized by an asset, it never has worth until someone pays for it, and 50% of all the stocks don't even pay dividends. So basically what that means is you need to activate your net worth by taking it out of the stock market and putting it behind something that is collateralized, like real estate. But all real estate's not equal. So we do a three-dimensional investment. We help people come out of the market so they activate their net worth. They put control in place. They have a head protection. And then the ATM machine part, we put them inside a real estate vehicle that's a diversified fund at 8% fixed rate of return, and it's literally paying every single quarter. So it doesn't go up. It doesn't go down. It stays the same. It's backed by real estate. And that's how you take your future and you get it out of the speculation world and you put it into certainty money that pays you every single year.
What type of, so at Boron Capital, is there a specific industry, or I should say, is there a specific market of real estate that you prefer in terms of acquiring versus another? We're
in only niches that are uncorrelated with each other, and then you're diversified in those. And so it's nothing that's mainstream. Everything that's mainstream would be where it's super competitive and where we'd say where all the sharks are. And so we come into an area where we have so much more cash flow. Wedding venues, storage units, corporate housing, areas that the big companies aren't. And we go in and acquire tons of it, produce massive customer service, massive world-class marketing, and then create the turnkey system that no one else is doing. And so, again, 14 years in business, every single investor produces money every single year. And I'm just so excited in this season. We are in a position that everyone needs to call time out and cut the emotions from all the drama going on and just decide, you know what, I've got to do what's best for me. I've got to know where my money's invested. I've got to know what my return is. I've got to know what I'm going to have in the future. I can't work the rest of my life. I need to have some assurance. I need to have some certainty, and you need to have the right investment vehicle to do that.
What are so real estate, and you mentioned a couple of things like corporate housing, wedding venues, and I completely agree with you. So some of these things aren't your they're not going to be your traditional like multifamily where hedge funds are going in trying to, they're just purchasing large amounts of them if they're at any scale. So you're right. The sharks are essentially in your case are institutional money, because institutional money is competitive, and they push the margins down as they get more competitive. Looking as they grow their funds, and they have larger and larger amounts of assets they have to invest into something. And so now what you're doing is you're kind of operating. I like the model. You're operating kind of, I won't say on the fringes, but what you're doing is alternative investments that most people aren't necessarily looking for on that institutional level, which can have different types of risks associated with them, but I guess the differentiating factor of what you're doing and any others is implementing a system. So you mentioned a kind of a turnkey system. Can you talk a little bit more about that system on how you're kind of working with these value add properties?
Sure, and let me just start back with it's a three-dimensional investment, which that's everything. Three-dimensional investment. It goes back into 3,000 years ago with King Solomon in the Bible, and everything he did was a three-dimensional investment. And we can talk more in depth another time, but basically the first dimension is God-directed. So most people, they work so hard, they're a good steward in life, but then they just toss their money over into something, and they lose the stewardship of like making sure those wisdom, those like actually godly wisdom is in a good place. It's actually assured, it's backed, it's protected. And the first dimension is God-directed. Our whole entire firm works in being God-directed in where we're putting people's money. Number two is the tangibility of the land. So it's actually land and improvements. And the third dimension is actually a business inside the actual real estate. It actually cash flows. So it's not gold. It's not flipping houses. It's not the stock market. It actually has an economic system inside it that actually produces income. And that's the most important thing, the three-dimensional investment.
Fantastic. Well, Blake, I could talk to you first off about this all day long, but we're about out of time for this episode. So that being said, if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Boron Capital, what's the best way for them to reach out and to connect with you and your team?
You know what, the best way, we got so much advice and so many training videos we want to give out. The best way is pull out your cell phone and text the word Solomon to 31996. So text the word Solomon in your text message to the phone number 31996. As soon as you do that, I'll shoot you a link. We've got lots of good gifts and video training and on wealth building that I'll give you, and I really think it'll serve you in a great way.
Fantastic. Well, Blake, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about how investors can turn their net worth in an ATM machine and also your three-dimensional investing. So appreciate all of that. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review on the Apple iTunes store. And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to know what kind of projects and things that you're working on. And Blake, thanks again for coming on the show.
Hey, Adam, my privilege, buddy. Look forward to doing it again soon.